Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Puck, which is a vibes-based podcast where we yap about all things hockey. Today is March 6th, 2026. I'm your host, Saint, and this is my partner in crime, Champ. Champ, how you doing?
We survived trade deadline.
Did we? I mean,
I survived trade deadline.
Yeah, I get a little sticker that says, I survived trade deadline. As always, we have a lot to discuss this episode, so let's jump right into it. Champ, we got to talk about it. You want to? What trade would you like to start off with?
Oh, man.
50,000.
Gang, this time last year, March 7th, 2025, we'd just gotten back from Boston. We were having the time of our lives, and then Elliot Friedman came in with his clicky-clacky shoes and announced at 3:01 Eastern Standard Time that Brad Marchand had been traded, and our worlds fell apart. This year, we didn't have that. We had a few blockbusters, but I think we're in a much better mental state than we were last year.
Not my team. Y'all stay safe, though.
Yeah, really.
That's really all it was.
I mean, it wasn't, and we're going to talk a little bit about it, but it wasn't as crazy as the trade deadline last year. Last year was bombastic. And I do think that part of it has to deal with the fact that none of our teams were in trouble. Like, it couldn't hurt us, really. I guess the biggest one we have to talk about is the fact that Nazeem Kadri is now back on the Colorado Avalanche.
Which
I know. It's not great.
It's not what I wanted.
They said yesterday that they had no intention of trading him. Like, upper management stepped in to say, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not trading him. He's, A, got a lot of money on the table. B, he's one of our not longest tenured, but like our last pieces of stability. Yeah, that's not happening. And then I thought it was done. Like, I was like, okay, when upper like ownership steps in, you're probably not gonna, wiggle that much. And then of course, freaking Elliot Friedman. This time it was at 4:00 though, so there was a lot in there before that trade got made. So, yeah, not great. What do you think?
I'm just really happy that none of my emotional support fourth liners left. And that's really all I focused on at this point.
I do think that the Avalanche, for one, how the fuck do they have that much cap space?
That's what got me, though, was like...
And they had a ton of picks. Like, okay, maybe we're just not used to management actually doing their job.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just one of those that, like, I don't want the Avs to do good.
Yeah.
I don't need them to do like bad.
But they're not in your division. They're in mine.
I don't want them to be good. Yeah, but I don't want them to do good.
Yeah.
So that's
cannibals.
Just about it. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, couldn't hit the fucking empty net. Neither of you. Like both of them. Both Cale Makar and Nate Mack. If you lost us this fucking Olympics gold medal and then come in swinging for the cup, I'm gonna beat your asses.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? Nah. Like,
they now have a crazy amount of center depth.
Yeah.
Because they also traded for Nicholas Raw. Wow. That's how you say his name, basically. Did you see that clip from fucking from Steve Dangle is Nicholas Ryan. But yeah, so they traded for him yesterday, and I thought that was gonna be the like epitome of their trade. Like they threw out it was an expensive trade. They threw out like a second rounder this year. I think it was a conditional third as well. And I was like, okay, that's expensive. Like that's expensive. The Caps, the Avalanche surely won't try again like anything else. Man. I like it when I'm innocent and nothing bad happens.
I really wanted like the Pens to get a good center. I don't really know where our guy fits it. Whatever. Like,
yeah. The Avs,
another center. I feel.
Yeah, especially one that can win faceoffs. The Avs now have Nate Mack for the center, the top line. They have Brock Nelson, Kadri, and then Nicholas Raw. And that's just crazy center depth. All the way around. The funny part was that people were talking about how it was on Wednesday they said it was a buyer's market. And then yesterday it completely flipped into being a seller's market. And then I think it went back to a buyer's market this morning. Like, it was dead silent. But the Edmonton Oilers, we also made some trades. We stole both of Chicago's alternate captains, which is kind of mean. as well as Colton Dock. I did joke to you that we are Chicago light now because we took 3 in this trade deadline alone. And we had somebody in the Discord say that that's just how Chicago GMs work. Because Stan Bowman was the Chicago GM when everything happened. We did dump Mangiapane, which we talked a little bit about this, that we're sad because when he first got pulled in, he got pulled in specifically from Dry and Connor, from the Caps. And both wanted him to do well. He started off really, really hot. And my coworker, who is a Caps fan, was like, just wait. It's not going to last. And I went, no, it's going to be fine. And then it immediately did not last. So, I don't know. I am warming up to the new guys. They seemed very sweet. They
yeah, I don't want to say that I like them better than like the guys that we got last little.
The last year was Freddie.
But which I wasn't thrilled about. So like this hopefully is good. It's more just my concern is not really the players at this point for Edmonton.
Yeah.
It's just the like, can your coaching staff get something out of them?
That's a good point.
Can you get something out of them that doesn't rely completely on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl gassing themselves into breakdowns? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just
one of the things that we have had consistent trouble with all across, like, people will say goaltending. And trust me, goaltending is not our strongest suit. It never will be. I think this year that defense has actually been the more struggle bus, and then that of course rolls into goaltending, because if your goalies don't feel supported, they're not going to support you back. We talked a little bit about how Jari, if you watch Jari, he does not look like he likes Nurse that much at all, which I think is hilarious because we've had our own problems with Nurse. But the Jason Dickinson is one of the A's, and he was a solid third line center who isn't the person who goes after like goals. Like, he's not going to be that kind of player. He's going to be a defensive offensive man. Mm-hmm. He's known as, like, he literally is known to shut people down. He loves shutting down Connor, and so did Connor Murphy. So they really went into this deadline and looked like, okay, we're going to patch up our biggest fault, which was defense. And that's kind of why, like, at first I was like, I don't know how to feel about this. But as it has settled in, I'm like, I don't hate that we went for defense rather than going for a big name. Because both of these, Dickinson and Murphy, were on the top power penalty kill of the league.
Yes, I was very excited because it looks like, because they were on the penalty kill together.
Mm-hmm.
That looks fantastic.
They've already got that chemistry built in.
Yes, that like, oh, okay, well,
and he gets Connor off the ice. Oh my god.
Yes, I think that's actually, like, now that you say it, I'm like, oh, actually, that's really good, because that was like a big fucking problem
at the start.
We had. Yeah, where it was like, what y'all do?
Why Connor on the ice 40 minutes? Why Connor on ice 40 minutes? McDavid, go sit down.
Let him lay down. Like, you can't have your most explosive speed skater.
Yeah. Exhausted, quite literally gassed.
All the time, because he should not be on the PK. So
I have not paid attention, because I was so closely watching the trades around the league of what's going on specifically in Edmonton. Like, who they think will go where on the lines. I do know that Dickinson will be our third C. We had 2 major injuries this week, which is Curtis Lazar, who came in with, I believe, Freddie? No, that was Max. Curtis Lazar was out with an arm injury, and then Matthias Janmark is out for the season with a shoulder injury. And I knew I know, buddy. So your emotional support fourth liner. He did get traded.
He didn't get traded.
He just got nuked.
He's dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
Dead.
And when I saw what happened, his arm injury, I was like, that don't look too good. So, that is unfortunate. But then
I'm
hoping
that we can get something out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's always my catch, is like, well, if you're going to be fucked, then could you at least give us something? Anything. Yeah. Like, just something.
So he's going to be back in the fall, which is, again, it's going to be a shorter off season, I think by 2 weeks. Which is great for us, because then means hockey's back. But yeah, hard to see him go because he's a playoff beast, and that's kind of like the only time he shows up.
Yeah, and like that was, I think, why he's been kept around for so long, is like he's just such a beast in playoffs. Like,
and he's fast. He's so fast.
He is fast, and just like he was always willing to throw hands, and I just really appreciated that about him.
That's why you love him, like, but that's why we have Colton Dach, who is like the #1 rookie league hitter. Like, he throws his physicality around, which I like, because we need, like, that's why I like Podsy so much, is he's very protective of Leo and Connor too. Like, he will throw himself on the front lines for his captain and basically his co-captain. And he also uses his innate strength to protect the puck and get it to Leo, which is why Leo went on such a fucking tear last year, because he has Podsy by his side. So, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how they go. We're going to see them in a week.
Like, this time next week,
we will be together.
We'll be hanging out.
Yeah.
We'll be hanging out
tomorrow,
allegedly.
Yeah. Speaking of Chicago, Nick Foligno, captain, gone.
Gonzo.
He's now
it's allowed because he's gonna go play with his brother, which I think is funny.
Yeah, his dad apparently cried, and it was sweet.
Yeah, like they're going on a cup run. Like,
I
that's
suppose
fun.
Minnesota did steal 2 captains this year, because technically they stole Quinn Hughes too.
Oh, that's true.
So,
okay.
And that actually brings up an interesting point: is with the 2 alternates in the locker room, Murphy and Dickinson. That's a lot of leadership in Edmonton's locker room, because we have Nuge and Connor and Leo and Nurse and now these people.
You have to hope that it doesn't become conflicting. But yeah, like that, I don't have any problem with it as long. I'm sure they're all, I think it's fine. Sure they're all going to be fine. Yeah. They're going to be fine. But like, yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah. Some other crazy trades. Brayden Schenn got traded from the Blues to the Islanders, which was actually hysterical because the Islanders and Blues are both in San Jose right now, staying at the same hotel because they play back-to-back games. The Islanders play the Sharks tonight, and then the Blues play tomorrow. So Brayden Schenn basically got he has to play tonight, but he didn't have to leave. So he just traded rooms because he's now with the Islanders.
I did see that. That is like, oh, well, we're here. Like, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's just funny. Like, I love it when shit like that happen. Like,
I think that's the first time that's ever happened.
Like, well, I'm so used to we'll talk about it a little bit of like the you wake up and you're not on this team anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
not great.
Brutal.
Yeah. So I thought that was funny. I don't think that's ever happened in the league before, or if it has, it's not that close. Like, you trade hotel rooms.
I was gonna say it's not like hotels, but it'll be like, oh, you're getting traded to this, because wasn't there one player a couple years back who got traded and then played on that team that he was in the city of?
That's hysterical.
On a road trip.
Yeah, I can see that. He just stays.
I'm pretty sure. I just can't remember who it was. But if you remember, please comment down below, because I don't.
Some other, they're big ones, but Connor Garland from the Canucks got traded to the Blue Jackets.
Yes,
which is crazy because he did just sign a contract over the summer with the Canucks. It didn't start until next year.
Yeah, and like basically no one from their season where they actually made playoffs.
Yeah,
there's like 3 players left.
No, 5. Excuse me, they have 5.
They're
Pedersen,
all
Besser, Hoglander, Ronick.
We knew
and
they were
Demko.
talking about like a rebuild or but like that's pretty brutal, right? Like,
yeah,
that's a lot of people. Gonzo.
Yeah, man. The Sabres picked up Logan Stanley and Luke Schenn from the Jets. Then they also took Sam Carrick. They've taken a lot of people. It's crazy that the Sabres are buyers this year. You know what I mean? Like, usually they're sellers. And then this year it was like, hey, we're going to the Buffalo and it's not a curse. Like, people were kind of like, oh man, I could play for Buffalo. Like, that's not a bad thing.
They're in playoff contention. Like, if you're on a team that has no contention whatsoever right now, or at least for a year or two. Okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay.
Then we had this one. crazy. Ottawa Senators took Warren Foegele.
Weird move.
That one audibly made me gasp in shock.
Yeah, because I thought he had kind of like settled into the Kings. Granted, I don't really follow the Kings that much, but like that seemed to be what I had assumed. Like I didn't think they were going to be that
aggressive.
Like,
I don't even think it was aggressive. Well, the Kings started taking picks. I'm like, are you buying or are you selling? Like, where are you at? Like, I don't think they know.
They don't seem to know.
Because they fired, this is also, we have not talked about this, they fired Jim Hiller last week.
Yeah.
That was this week.
Crazy late in the season to do that. Like, because are they in playoffs?
No.
Yet? Like, at all?
No.
Like, they're out?
They're wild card.
They're wild. Well, that's what I mean. Are they like within?
They could play in the playoffs, but they would be wild card. I think they're 5th. They are 6th. So
okay.
But
so
they're tied with the Sharks right now.
They're tied with the Sharks.
Yeah.
So not likely.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that was more like what I was like, are they not sure?
Yeah.
Do they think they can make it? So they're not looking like they're gonna make the wild card.
Right.
So to me, it isn't surprising that they got rid of Foegele, but then honestly,
and why'd they take Panarin?
But yeah, like, are they just thinking that it's going to be a quick retool? Like, I feel like a lot of teams that are in the middle of the road are smart if they do a quick retool of like, okay, these pieces are not working. Let's get some more shit in the bank, like picks or some people that we can flip later, so that we can then bank on those for the future. Yeah. Like the Kyle DeBoss method is to try and plan for the long term first overall, but you also have to get asses in seats. So you can't like totally screw it up.
Yeah, exactly.
So like you can't have like you cannot be
an
unwatchable fucking team. Yeah, honestly. Like the Preds were that way
last year. Oh, no, you're right. It was even early, like it was this year.
It was this year, and then they like went on a tear and like they're better. But like at the start, it was basically like it because like everyone is talking about how it basically feels hopeless for the Preds. And then they did come and bounce back a little bit, but they still were more sellers than not at the deadline, it seems. But
yes, but it was surprising that they didn't get a lot of pieces out. Like they were the ones who were like, okay, well, you're gonna have to make name some big asking prices. Which again, it started Wednesday buyer's market, Thursday seller's market, today buyer's market again. So like, I don't know. Another crazy trade, for us at least, was the Dallas Stars win for Michael Bunting. Thank God. We get to finally root for him again.
Yeah, like Bun was one of our emotional support randos.
Yes.
Who, like, he just fell into the Pens at a time where it was like, wow, he's such a bitch. I love him. Yeah. Like, you know, he was just a little shit. And he produced really well to start, and then
he's a middle six. Like
he's a middle six. He's also somebody who, you know how people with ADHD, aka you and me, when we start on something, we're really strong, and then we kind of waver. He seems to be like that with teams, where he usually has like a good start and then kind of tapers out. I don't know if it's just that he needs somebody. Like I kind of am curious how he would be on the Pens now, because Danny Muse would either be able to get something out of him or wouldn't. I'm excited to root for him just because he's fun. Like he seems like Bun. He's just fun. Yeah, we just calling him Bun is fun.
Speaking of, we talked a little bit about this, but the Maple Leaf Saint, they did not have a good trade deadline. They have not had a good season either. First of all, they lost to the Rags last night, 6-2. That was the Rangers' first regulation win at Madison Square Garden in 101 days, which is crazy. And then the Leafs lost to them.
Yeah, and then the Leafs didn't make any.
They did at the last second.
Okay, like, but not.
And not for anything good. So, they moved Scott Loughton to the Kings. And Loughton, they got him last year for a first, and then traded him for a third, which is not great. So Leafs fans are not happy. Then they traded Bobby McMahon to the Kraken, who he was already going to go on UFA at the end of the season, so it was good for them to like at least get some picks, because they had none. Like their draft pick was taken by Boston. So it's not been great for the Leafs fans, and they are losing it. And there was a press conference right before we started our episode where what's his name? The the GM. He was like, yeah, it's all on me. I don't know what to tell you. And everyone's like, it is all on you. Treveling's like, yep, my fault, but that's it. I did see the asking price for some of the players that they wanted, and it was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, like, I understand that the price is whatever people are willing to pay.
Right.
But, like, sometimes these asks are a little fucking stupid. Like, I guess, to me, it's one of those that, like, I see it as they don't want to part with somebody, and so they're like, here's a ridiculous overpay. If you're willing to do it, great. Because I think DeBoss has done that quite a few times where he's like, I have these guys, they're technically up for grabs, but you're overpaying for them. Like, I'm not letting you get away with anything. Like, if you want them, you are paying out the nose.
Yeah. I don't know. Strange. I do kind of, at this point, I kind of feel bad for the Leafs fans. Like, we like to rag on them a bit, but you kind of like look at them and go, dude, how did you go from almost taking down the Stanley Cup champions last year's playoffs to this? Like, and there was discussion of it's Marner. Marner's the problem. I don't think Marner was the problem. And honestly, do you think they fire Berube, their coach?
I think that the problem, okay, so you know how the Canucks have like basically gutted their team?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what the Leafs need to do.
A bunch of them can't. They're no movement clause.
Yeah, that's the problem. But yeah, like that's the problem is like they didn't, I understand some of these were DeBoss because at the time he was operating on different parameters, but like
it's just like bad. Like they are about to hit their dark days and it's not going to get pretty for a while.
Did they ever not know that was it ever not the dark days? Like, I feel like they had hope with like the core four of their.
Oh yeah, like
and then they just completely wasted it, but not in like. They just never build depth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then if they have depth, they trade them away. Like, or they just don't develop them properly. That's at least what I have seen.
And you have the GM who doesn't. It's kind of like what we thought Don Sweeney was last year. Where Don Sweeney was like, I don't really care about what's going on with the vibes of the locker room. Cool. And then he immediately fucked off and went to overpay for something else or got nothing for something else. And then Berube has been wanting to install a system that I think the Leafs players don't want to run. Like, they stare at them and go, like, there was a clip yesterday, and I think I gotta go back and see if I can find it, where...
Yeah, you sent it to me, because it was them,
just, he was ragging on Domi, because Domi fucked up. And Domi turns his back on his coach. Like, flat out turns his back on his coach.
Which is crazy, because I am a calm, cool, rational person.
Right,
overall.
sure.
If I'm your coach, and you turn the fuck around...
You're getting benched.
Out of the game, out of the
you
fucking
go sit
game.
In the locker room.
I'd be like, and it wouldn't be like, it would be toward, depending on the attitude, what I think the player would respond to more, or depending just how fucking certifiable I am in the moment, whether or not it's no, you're done. You're just calm. Or are you out of your fucking mind? Who do you think you fucking are?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Get out. If you can't listen to me, donezo, gone. Because at
that point, you know that you don't have a job, right? Like, if they're not listening to be coached and they are actively being defiant, okay, let's burn this place down.
Because that's kind of how it was.
This is why we can't be coaches.
No. And like, I'm joking. Like, I was joking, but like, not really. Like, because I am one of those people that's like, I feel like my rule is you set reasonable expectations. You set clear-cut expectations. If the expectations were not made clear, that's your fault as a coach.
Yeah.
You know, that's your mistake. And you always want to try and get the best out of people while also not letting them get away with things. Like, just because they make a mistake doesn't mean that you can't save them. But if they're continually making mistakes and they're not taking direction, you have to be a little bit of a hard ass, especially in the culture that hockey exists in. I think there's different like responses to different coaches. And I don't think the old way is going to last for much longer.
Agree.
You know what I mean? Like, there's certain coaches who can get it work and certain coaches who can't, because if they're older players, it will work. Younger players, though, I don't think are going to really respond to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you just have to stick with him until how long is left on his contract. whatever.
I don't know.
But, like, something I don't.
I just know that Leafs fans who are already very rational are like they are much more rational today, and I kind of support them. Like if my GM made the choices that he did today for my team, I would be livid. Yeah. So
yeah, no, I don't. Here's the thing: Leafs fans are mostly insufferable.
Yeah,
I can't blame them entirely.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? Like I think I would also lose my mind if I had like good players who constantly, and then like, not to get into it again, but like, how are you gonna take away the C from Tavares?
I know.
Who took a hometown discount and then give it to Matthews, who constantly looks like he doesn't want to be there. It's crazy.
Yep.
Like, yeah,
there's a lot there that's wrong. The Vegas Golden Knights, they also had some pretty big moves. I'm actually shocked that they didn't go for a better goalie. I thought that they were going to be all in on Bob, which we'll talk about in a second.
I'm shocked that Bob, didn't get traded.
Yeah, Bob Bobrovsky with the Panthers did not get traded. He and the Panthers are looking to do an extension. AJ Greer is too. And we'll talk about that in a second. But there was so much speculation about Jordan Binnington and Bobrovsky that I genuinely was like, one of them is going to Vegas. Like, and then I thought genuinely, I was like, Binnington will go to Vegas and they'll win a cup. Like that's just I genuinely thought that would have been the play. Instead, they went for Nick Dowd from the Caps and traded him for a goalie as well as picks. Which is crazy because the Caps were at the time only 4 points out of playoff contention, wild card spot. So they blew up their whole team 4 points out of the wild card.
With like, you're just specifically with Carlson or like all the other too?
Nick Dowd, who was the one that like completely took them out. Like yesterday, like they had a practice that became optional. The locker room was just so upset. Like people were heartbroken. And then at fucking 1 a.m, I wake up to John Carlson being traded.
Which, like, okay, the one side of it is that
it's a Jake situation.
He's going for a cup run. As a Pens fan, I have developed a begrudging respect for the Caps, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you have to, I feel like there's enemies that you have to respect because you're enemies, because you're like true rivals. And I think that's how I feel about the Caps. Do not feel that way about the Flyers. Y'all suck. So I have to give credit to the Caps. They have a really amazing locker room culture.
Yeah.
Like they're a family. Like you can tell, like, when they have guys who feel like they were traded for a bag of pucks, they say, yeah, but you're ours now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they really seem to give a shit about each other. And you can tell that part of that was with the older guys. And so like Tom Wilson was like, being
almost
in tears,
crying,
and like
it was now there's only 2 left, right?
It's
that
just
run in
Ovi
2018.
And Ovi said it. Yeah, Ovi saying it was the saddest day of his career, and like I'm sure that I don't know. Like I just it's just like his number's gonna get retired. Like that's what some people were like claiming is like this is a number that's gonna get retired. Like it's. I don't want to say it's Marshy, but it's damn fucking close. If actually, honestly, it might be.
I said it was like
trade of this.
It might,
this year.
And I said it was also it would be like the Oilers trading Nuge or the Pens trading Tanger. Tanger is probably more like comparable because John Carlson is a defenseman, and is their all-time leading defense scorer. But the fact that they did it at 1 a.m. like John Carlson was asleep. Like he said he had to wake up to the call.
That's that is crazy to me.
Ducks. We know the Ducks suck. We've been known.
Yeah.
But like to do that is just gut wrenching. Like I feel so bad for those.
I need you to look at this.
Oh no. What is this? Oh no. Boss said not to scare the new Carlson, but this is how I show affection. What is this? Oh.
It's just a meme. Like it's mean. Like it's a meme. It's just funny. Like
that's hysterical.
This can't be. This isn't real, I assume.
That's hysterical. Oh, but like, what my God.
Like, what a funny.
All right, Wild Wing, you get some points in my book.
Yeah, or fans, Ducks fans, I'll allow. I don't even know what that Twitter account is.
Man,
I assume it's not real, but
that's funny.
But yeah, like it's got to be hard because like you want him to go chase the cup, but also should he have been there to the end? Like,
well, my thought, I don't think he's even chasing the cup. I think that they traded him away because his contract is expiring at the end of this year, and so they said, okay, we'll trade you, get some picks back, and then re-sign you in the summer. And
we said that about Marshy though.
Brad Marchand had some bad. Well, that's true. He had some bad blood with Don Sweeney.
Yeah.
But they also won a cup, so it's a little different.
Yeah,
like I don't see the Ducks winning a cup this year.
I mean, like they're definitely a wagon to a degree of like they're a lot tougher than they were.
Yeah.
But they're not like. I
mean, they're second in the division in the Pacific.
Yeah. Like that's what I mean is they're not the worst, but they're.
Yeah. But that one hurts. Anyways, back to the Panthers. So Bob was not traded. AJ Greer is getting an extension as well. Do you think that seems kind of risky? That they are just continuously signing these players that have been to the Stanley Cup like 3 times? Or should we be more worried that they're building up for another dynastic run? We've talked a little bit about this.
I think you're putting an awful lot of eggs in the same basket. But if that basket won you 2 cups.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
My thought there is, I think that it can't be everyone on your team. Like, we have talked about how we joke that you don't want to trade your emotional support third liners.
But you got to have a little rotation. You got to have a little fresh blood now and then. Like, you know.
And Bob is 37, isn't he? He's older. And AJ Greer is not a young gun either.
Bob?
Bob, yeah. He's older. And he wanted terms. Like, he wanted length.
Holy shit, he really is 37?
Yeah.
I thought he was like, I was thinking like,
32,
I know
33.
goalies last a little bit longer sometimes, like if they take good care of themselves, but like, I don't know why. I thought he was like a little bit younger.
Yeah.
So really he's in like, whatever is next is his last term.
I think he gets 2 years.
On 1 year.
I think he gets 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, but they gave Marshy a 5-year term, and that was
which is crazy. He's gonna be there. He's gonna air quote be there until he's 42.
Yeah, but like they have also like so the reason that some of these trades are a little weird is because they changed how salary caps work. So they've changed it. So the playoff cap, because the CBA expired, it's the overall cap was rising by 7.5 million from this season. And then in the past, teams could dress lineups that exceeded the cap in the playoffs. Teams took advantage of the fact that players didn't count against the cap when they went on long-term injured reserve in the regular season and bolstered their rosters.
Right.
And so now,
which is what the Oilers did, and then of course it got noticed, and everyone went, "We can't do that."
That was, and it was also a Vegas and Tampa thing too, and I think Florida too. I'm not sure, but like, yeah, there have been some changes made to how that works that I think has affected how the trades work. There was also, I feel like there was something about retention too, but I can't remember. But yeah, the salary cap for playoffs, I think, is the big one, because you have teams that are basically having to say, we can't go all in on a playoff run because we don't have the numbers. And so now we have to become sellers, or we have to tweak and then wait till next year. Like, I think they have to be a little bit smarter as opposed to just being like, we'll just throw them on LTIR. Like,
man, I don't know. I am worried that they are going to come back, because next year they will have, we've talked about it, that they've played the most hockey out of everyone. Next year they will have Barkey, and they will have rested, because there's very little chance that they're making playoffs. So I'm worried that they're going to come back for just another slaughter. Or maybe you're right. Maybe they've put all of their shit in one basket and they go, "Oh, we fucked up."
I guess, I haven't looked at their deals, but like if there's a bunch of no clauses and term and salary, I know that there was a lot of pay cuts.
Yes.
Per se.
Aaron Ekblad was one of them.
Yeah. So like they took some pay cuts,
but they got terms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just weird. I don't know. I don't know. I'm side-eyeing the Panthers suspiciously.
Yeah, like it's just I wonder if, like, he's such a good GM. So I just feel
I hate him, but he's so good at. We could have had him.
Yeah, you could have. Oilers could have had 3 cups.
It's fine. Now. Thanks, Jeff Jackson.
You have to wonder, does he know what he's doing in the long run? Like, is he a short term or
is he thinking short term?
I feel like he's not that stupid, but like, there's always that possibility. He just knows something we don't. I feel like
maybe,
and obviously, you know what I mean. Like, there's just something weird about it all. Like,
that on top of him being in the Panthers being in the Dobbs partner or pockets. I'm eyeing you suspiciously, but, and finally, well, not finally, we're going to keep going for a while. Some interesting news that came out today was that Corey Perry is no longer a Los Angeles King. He is now a Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tampa.
Welcome back, dude.
Sorry, Tampa. R.I.P. You could have had another cup. So sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very brave. Like, I know that they say that hockey players aren't that superstitious. Maybe you should be a little bit more superstitious.
Yeah, that man has 6 times proven that he's not
6 times. Like, at what point? Like, a couple times I could, like, if it had just been the Oilers, bruh, it's been enough times that
he made a blood sacrifice.
Yeah, and
to get his first one, and now he's cursed. He will get there all the time, but now he will never get over the finish line. So Tampa Bay, I'm so sorry, buddy.
Yeah,
you. Hey, but at least we can see people again.
Speaking of Toronto, by the way, at last year's trade deadline, Toronto acquired Scott Laughton for the first round pick and Nikita Griffin, but then only got a 3rd round pick back.
Yeah, exactly.
So like,
yep. Great for them.
Oof. I think you mentioned, but I was like, seeing it again on my page is just like, bro.
Yeah. So, and there were some big names that were out there for the entirety of trade deadline, like back in January, that didn't end up getting traded. The craziest one for me was Trocheck, from the Rangers, because they said they were having a fire sale, and then they didn't really have a fire sale.
Yeah, I was expecting like DeBoss to pick somebody up, or like same thing with like the Flames and the Canucks all kind of seem to be like in fire sale mode. And I expected DeBoss to pick somebody up, but also just more to happen with them. Like, I feel like there was a little bit of movement, but not as much as I expected.
Yeah. The Blues were the ones that were also supposed to be a big fire sale. They were kind of the talk of the trade deadline. Robert Thomas was the big name, which we both were talking about potentially getting Thomas for our teams, which would be great, but he was a super high asking price. I think they asked for Ben Kendall from the Pens, and I genuinely think DeBoss probably laughed in his face. That kid is going to be the next.
And hung up the phone immediately. Like, are
you going to get an A? Like, he's going to get an A.
Yeah, like that kid is like.
That is the future.
Like, if we keep him, which we should,
right?
Like this is DeBoss's child now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, he's just so
crazy that we can say that we saw him in his rookie year.
Like the fact that he's 18 and he's doing all this as somebody who was not he was, first round, but like it's not like he was pegged as the next Sid Crosby, or getting the hype that McKenna was.
Yeah,
he was kind of overlooked. But they've been able to develop him so well, and he seems to just have that like
IQ,
the maturity too. Like, he just seems so calm on the ice, of like, he's not panicking.
Yeah,
like he needs to get his feet wet, and like he just needs to learn more.
But 18 and playing at NHL level, which I know that happens. Like, Matthew Schaefer is the perfect example of this. Yes, Matthew Schaefer is the next generation for the Islanders. Like, we're getting there.
Kindy, I feel like anyone asking for Kindy has not been watching the Penguins.
Right.
They're watching the Penguins and hoping DeBoss is stupid, and he's not.
No. So, Jordan Binnington was also out there. I'm actually genuinely surprised again that he did not go. I thought that somebody would take him. I think he's kind of pissed that nobody did. On the Canucks, we have Elias Pettersson and Evander Kane. Kane made it through trade deadline, which
is not surprising, because I don't think anybody wants him.
No, nobody wanted him in the first place. On the Predators, we had Ryan O'Reilly and Jonathan Marchessault. Both of them, Ryan O'Reilly has been talked about all season long, and like, he was getting kind of down before they went on their little tear. So I'm glad to see that he's back. Like, he's getting some of the hype that he deserves, and that the Preds are doing fine. I'm actually really shocked that the Devils didn't make more trades. Like, really shocked that they didn't make any trades.
Yeah,
big trades.
Like,
Carolina, I think that they didn't need to. They are usually like putting their fingers in every pie.
Yeah.
But they've got a solid team. Like are they at the top of the division of the East?
Yeah, they're untouchable.
Yeah, they're not at the top.
In the Metro. They're
the
first
Sabres
in the Metro.
are above them? No, they're not. Yeah, they are at the top. Okay, I was like, what the fuck? But I was reading it wrong. I was reading it wrong.
They're first in the Metro, and like we can't get them.
Damn. Just
not that it really helps them, but
no. But like last year, they were so talked about. You know what I mean? Like they were the reason that Rantanen was getting traded, and just they were in everything. And then they got Stankoven back, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's great. That's the biggest trade of the day." And then it wasn't. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that they didn't get, neither the Devils or the Carolina Hurricanes were really the discussion.
Yeah.
So
I guess again, they always act like there's always a couple crazy big moves like Kadri.
Yeah.
And Carlson and things like that. But like not the age of like seeing 50 trades from every team. You know what I mean? I just don't feel like we're in that era. Like
especially because right now that we have like the UFAs, because we had the cap going up, they have the option to like sign their UFAs early. So everyone did before the season started. So it was like that was going to be the craziest discussion was this year. We were going to have the UFA discussion in July 1st. Well, that's kind of hit or miss now. People that didn't get traded this year are going to go on UFA. And they're not that many sexy names.
Well, and like I feel bad because Jeff Skinner, like he remains unsigned. He has his contract termination mutually through the Sharks. Even if a team signed him, which they can't. Or they're not going to.
Right.
I should say he can't play for the playoffs.
Right.
Because he hasn't been acquired before the trade deadline. So
yeah, just rough. All right, Saint, do we have a sponsor today?
No, because I'm going on vacation.
Okay, great.
When I come back, though, make sure to support us. Sorry. I didn't mean to say it, but it was too good of a bit.
Let me try again, Saint. Do we have a sponsor?
Today's sponsor is Saint Astra, a Twitch streamer, cosplayer, and artist. You can support her by purchasing from her Etsy or subscribing on twitch.tv/Saint Astra. Use your free Prime sub and get access to awesome emotes. Saint Astra's Etsy also sells a variety of jewelry, decorations, and trinkets. Everything is handmade and crafted with the perfect balance of love and spite. All proceeds go directly to the Saint Astra hockey-related DIY fund.
All right, let's turn to our one-timer topic where we take one shot at the biggest story. This week's topic, Saint, we have talked a little bit about it, but the no movement trade clause and the drama that surrounded Colton Parayko, whatever his name is.
Parayko, I think.
Yeah. So that was kind of the story of the week, where all of a sudden, all of these trades got leaked with, what's his name? The Buffalo Sabres coming out and being like, hey, by the way, we're getting Parayko, who had a no NTC clause. NTC. No trade, whatever. No movement clause. Thank you. And then he didn't get traded because he said no. What do you think about the fact that this trade got leaked before it was confirmed?
I think that's such shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think this tactic of the not the like I guess we don't really know what happened, do we?
No.
But like, damn. First of all, maybe you shouldn't report something for a player that has full no movement.
Mm-hmm.
Or rather
16 I think.
16 no movement or high no movement, let's say, in his clause where he can veto things. Or rather, he's being reported to trade to a team that is on his no movement clause. Then maybe you should wait until it's confirmed.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
And he has every right to exercise that no movement clause.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just does. Like, I don't like, because I think this has been pressured. It was pressured with the Rangers too.
Yes.
And I think
because
that players,
of Savannah Jed.
Yeah, I think the players are gonna regret not. Someone called it a peacetime CBA.
Oh.
as opposed to a wartime CBA, because the last time we had like a wartime CBA, like a full one, was the lockout, which was the only time in NHL history, barring war, that like they have not played for a full calendar season.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the season before like Sid came in.
Yeah.
So like in that scenario, they did not, I think, go hard enough on the fact that like no movement clauses have to be completely respected, and that whoever leaked that shit, apparently they said they went through the phones of like everyone who knew about it on their staff and were like, it wasn't us.
Doug Armstrong came out and was like, listen, none of it, we went through every person that we works in the administration, and it was not us, which I also think is creepy.
Yeah, also kind of a little fucking weird about that, especially because we know that most sports non-athletes and non-like front office GMs and shit like that are not paid well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these guys are doing this for the love of the game. They're not getting paid bank.
Yeah.
So like
kind
of crazy.
What do you mean you went through all of the phones of people? Did you maybe consider that they might have deleted the text? Like, you can't go through a police investigation.
Like, yeah, like you can show, like, some of it shows like deleted text and so deleted text, but you can like go through and stop that. But like also just kind of weird. Like, was it that serious? Like, I understand you have like ops, especially for like you have NDAs, right?
Yeah.
And so some of that like probably goes through the NDA that like I assume some of them have work phones or like their work contacts or something that is. But yeah,
this is also this was the 4th trade that was reported before a player had waived.
Yeah.
So, and 2 of them didn't happen. So like the Uyghur trade, I believe, was one of them. He went to Utah, and that was leaked before he waived, which everyone went, oh, weird. Okay. But then the Parayko trade or discussion trade, whatever you want to call it, got leaked. And that one was not confirmed for a while. Like, they announced the trade when the GM had proposed it to Parayko if he wanted to move.
Even though he had confirmed it, they just proposed it?
Like, they leaked it. Like, they said, oh, this is what's happening. And so all of the insiders went, oh, this is happening. And then dead silence for like 6 hours before they came through, and it was like, this is not happening. So just strange. Like, I think the whole situation is weird because the player's not going to leak it. The agent isn't going to leak it. The only person who could leak it is the team. And it's obvious, like, and I joked this week. I've been pissed because Darnell Nurse is giving me a headache, and he always does, and he's got an on lock for forever. I joked that it sucks that we could put his name out there and pressure him that way. And there was rumors throughout all of Oilers Twitter that his name was out there because he was being a little bitchy last week, and that's a whole different story. So there were rumors that his name was out there. But that would have required him to completely waive his no move clause. And his wife just had another baby. They are not going to uplift their entire life to do that when she had the baby last week. So
yeah, like
the joke was, oh, I think Nurse should waive his contract and move. But I think that if you're going to give them out, you have to respect them. You can't push them otherwise.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, is it really just boils down to GMs not respecting it, in that like, or maybe not that the GMs aren't respecting it, but that like they passed it out like candy, and so it lost a lot of the weight.
Yeah.
And then it shouldn't lose that weight. It should be taken very seriously.
It should only be for like, I say 4 or 5 of your players in the entire organization.
Like, or to do degrees. Like, I understand players have preferences. Like, there's a lot of cities I would not want to play for. So, like, yeah, you could have an 8-team no movement clause or a 16-team no movement clause. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then you have to take a little bit of a pay cut for it. Like, players should negotiate. They're putting their bodies on the line. They know that there's always a chance that they could never play again if they have like an accident or something happens. They take a hard hit. They have a concussion. Like, we've seen it before. So, like, they should get whatever they can get out of it. For the good of the teams, like, they gotta cut back on the no movement clauses.
Yeah.
The total no movement clauses for anyone but, like, and I know he has an A, but there's really only, like, to me, the only people who deserve to be untouchable on the Oilers is Dry, Connor, and Nuggy just for the sentimentality.
And I do think Bush is up there.
I think Bush, arguably, just because he's our younger defenseman. But yeah, like everybody else, you get, 8 teams you can say no to, 16 teams you can say no to, or you have to give us 8 teams that you'll say yes to.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah.
Just rough. I don't know. That has been bothering me all week because I did joke about it. Like, I was like, we should do this. And then it like came out that these GMs are actively pressuring, like, and we know it happens. But to see it so blatant this season is just unfortunate and kind of fucking scary. Like what are you going to do if they say no? Well, are you going to go back to that locker room and now sit there and it's the same thing that, what's his name? Who was on the was it Doogie Hamilton? Somebody did it with the Devils where
it was Doogie Hamilton.
Yeah, for the
Hamilton.
How do you go back to your locker room after rejecting a trade that 3 of the players in the locker room or your coaches or your GM wanted, and then you go back to the locker room and that's the whole situation.
Yeah, like, I think that's the other thing is, aren't you kind of putting a target, maybe intentionally, on the back of players who enact that right, if you let these kind of talks be known, especially before the fucking deadline is over? You know what I mean? Like, it'd be one thing for this to be, I feel like, respectfully done, of like, leaks over the summer of like, yeah, we were Parayko, and like, he said no, he doesn't want to go to the Sabres. Yeah. And then everybody can get outraged and be like, we could have had him. But you do that after the Stanley Cup is already awarded. You know what I mean? Like that.
And I don't hate that. I think that's smart. That's gossip.
Yeah,
I think that's goss.
That gives us something to like look forward to in the off season. I just feel like we've let the everybody has to know everything now immediately. No. We could marinate on that news a little bit. I feel like that would be fine.
Yeah. I don't know. Just weird.
Yeah.
Well, with the trade deadline being done, World Hockey Report came out with its power rankings for the NHL trade deadline. Saying I've got that pulled up. The trade deadline winners were Calgary and Avalanche. I think Calgary makes sense because they are in such a rebuild. If they win the lottery and get Gavin McKenna, 1, I'll be fucking pissed. 2,
no. You know what's going to get you bigger pissed is they're talking about the Panthers getting McKenna.
I'm ignoring you. Actually, did you see that? I think it was Sportsnet had a mock draft today, and did you see who won it?
No,
it was the Leafs.
Okay, that would be funny because honestly, okay. So if we're talking like what's the best case scenario versus the worst case scenario, if I'm picking from the bottom of the barrel, I want it to go to the Leafs because there's a chance we'll get traded eventually.
Yeah. Their management will not be able to handle it. So therefore, go ahead. Yeah. So it was the Leafs. But the deadline winners for this one were Calgary and the Avs. Avs, I definitely agree. I don't know how they fucking did it.
Absolutely crazy. He had to have because there was salary retained that was, I feel like the Flames did really good with the haul they got for him. But I because they did take salary retained. Bro, what the fuck?
I know. Did what they had to with Chicago, the Sabres, the Stars, the Ducks, the Oilers, the Wild, the Islanders, the Ottawa Senators, the Lightning, the Leafs, the Red Wings, and the Jets. The only one on this one I will say is probably the Leafs. Honestly, probably the Leafs. But everyone else, I feel like that's pretty accurate, is that they did what they had to do. They didn't go for anything crazy because they didn't really need crazy. Like last year for most of these teams, like the Stars, was crazy. And they didn't need that this year.
They don't need crazy.
I
don't think anyone on that team. The Leafs needed crazy, but most of the teams on this, they they knew where they're at.
Yeah.
And they know where they're at.
Yeah.
And they're not too crazy.
Chillin', the Habs, the Penguins, the Sharks, and Florida. I agree. I was surprised that the Habs didn't make more of an effort. I don't think they made any trades today. I think they made trades this week, but I don't think they made any today. I could be wrong on that. The Pens, you only got the one new baby who's a giant. He's 6'8". The Sharks did good, and they also re-signed Ned. And then Florida's doing Florida things. Needed to do more. This is kind of similar to what we talked about was the Canes, the Blues, the Knights, the Bruins, and the Utah Mammoth. Again, I don't think the Bruins. I think the Bruins could be in chillin'. Because they are in the middle of a retool. I don't think they necessarily need to be anywhere else.
Yes, I think that they're fine because they're in a wild card spot. Yeah, that's fine.
I think Vegas again down there. They got Nick Dowd, so I don't know. The don't get it category is very funny to me. So we've got the Kings, The Seattle Kraken, I'm not sure. I think that I would maybe move them up a little bit more because they did get Bobby McMahon. The Flyers didn't make any like significant moves at all. The Caps, they went down. Like, I don't know why they went down. The Preds, I'd argue for needed to do more or chillin'. I think they're kind of where they need to be. The Rags, that one was shocking. They came out and said we're going to have a fire sale, and then they didn't do anything. The Devils, same thing. Not for the fire sale. The Blue Jackets, they're kind of hit or miss. And then haven't made a good move for 1.5 years is the Vancouver Canucks. And it brings me joy every single day of my life.
Yeah, I mean, like, of all the teams to be dog shit, we're okay with that.
It's fine for me. All right, well, let's move into Sportsmanlike Conduct, Saint. Saint, it's our last Sportsmanlike Conduct before we're gone for a week.
Oh my god, bro, I'm gonna throw up and die.
We've talked about every single team this week.
Yeah, so
we do have to spin the wheel and pick our team of the week, and no matter who it lands on, we have to say something nice, spread a little love on the ice. Yeah, we have to talk nice about a team who we've spoken on this time. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I think one of the only ones we didn't really talk about was the Mammoths.
Yeah, but
I don't think we mentioned them at all.
Uyghur, but that's about it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. I swear to God.
That's so funny. No, I don't have any.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
I don't have any. Oh, no. Hold on.
Oh, no! This week's wheel pick is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh, we just spent an hour shitting on them. Oh, no. I genuinely can't think of one. I have one. I love how dedicated their fan base is. That's a deep silent, Saint.
It's just not maybe what I would have guessed you.
They are very dedicated. It's like if the Oilers were fucking crazy. And that's saying something as an Oilers fan. I think that it's almost kind of nice to like sit there and watch them believe each year.
Yeah, I gotta give them credit that they do always I don't want to say they don't lose faith, but they always
regain it. Yeah. They do have the Delulu.
I don't mean that in a mean way. Like, that sounds really mean, but I do I think that if you don't I'm a practical person,
right?
So I'm like, yeah, my fucking team sucks, or yeah, my team is good. We maybe whatever. But like to be the level of this is our year every year, and then they almost go through like an El Nino cycle where or La Nina, they just will for a couple years of Delulu, we're winning the cup, and then a couple years of everything sucks. Our team's gonna blow up, and then a couple years, and they just keep doing it. Good for you.
You know, that's mine.
I do like the blue and white color. I always say jerseys because it's always just the most neutral thing. Their jerseys are like the logo, like the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's cool. I do love that they're an original 6 team and the history behind that.
Yeah.
I think that's always really, really fascinating because they do go so far back, and the standards that they set for the league, and all of the interesting things that come with that.
Yeah.
I also think their mascot would give a really
I love Carlton. Carlton is so good.
Yeah.
I've got one, but it's going to get me in trouble. I like how easy they are to shit on.
Yeah, that's fun.
My favorite thing to do is whenever we find a garbage bag in Leaf & Company is say, hey, look, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes, that is a really fun bit.
It's a very fun bit. This has nothing to do with hockey, and this will be getting me in trouble later, but it's like, they're not bullyable. They are bullyable, but it's not like, when they succeed, you're like, oh, yeah, okay. But when they're down, it's not like they're not our rival. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're
fun to pick on.
They were really fun when Marshy was on the Leafs.
Yeah, not the Leafs. Bruins.
sorry, Marshy was killing the Leafs.
Yeah.
Like that was always fun. I feel like Pasternak has really always been a part of that. But like has taken it in his stead. And
if you weren't there, I wouldn't have another team to pick on.
Yeah, the Boston Maple Leafs rivalry is a very fun rivalry.
Yes, great.
Very fun.
All right. That was a terrible one. We're so sorry, Leafs fans.
Yeah, well, like if we hadn't just spent so long talking about trades, I probably could have come up with something better. Just was not
your year. Not your year.
Yeah, we'll get you next season, bud.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode, folks. We really appreciate you listening through all of our rants and ramblings. The Puck Witches podcast is released on Spotify and our YouTube channels, and you can join the Night Witches Discord via the link below to talk about episodes directly, as well as enjoy our other channels. It's full of gaming, hobbies, and good vibes.
Make sure you're following us over on Twitch, and if you want to support us with a Twitch Prime on either or both of our channels, you get access to cute emotes and extra channel points. If you enjoy this podcast, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky for updates.
And lastly, don't forget to check out Saint's Etsy or subscribe on Twitch. Saint, we are going on a break for 1 week.
We are going on a break. We won't be around, but some videos will be.
Yeah. And when we get back, we're going to have so much more content for everyone to enjoy. It's going to be fun. So,
yeah.
Also, if you have a chance, consider dropping a like on this episode and subscribing again so you never miss a video. We love you all and hope the hockey season is treating you well. Champ and Saint, signing off.
See you in Edmonton.